Clare Curran.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. To the Minister of Communications and Information Technology, is he satisfied that the process for awarding the Ultra-Fast Broadband tender is appropriate? If so, why?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, yes, because the Government and Crown Fibre Holdings have followed the utmost standards of probity. I'd note the process involves CFH analysing and negotiating commercial offers before providing recommendations to shareholding ministers, which is a process in many ways not dissimilar to that developed by the previous government to approve bids to their Broadband Investment Fund, which were also signed off by ministers. In order to be helpful, I would also note the opposition has made a mistake on their blog. I'm actually not a shareholding minister in CFH. That honour belongs to my colleagues, Minister English and Power.
Clare Curran.
Supplementary. To the Minister, why does he believe there is no conflict of interest with Murray Milner, who carried out consultancy work for Chinese technology Huawei, a potential bidder to supply services and equipment for the broadband rollout, who at the same time was a Crown Fibre Holdings board member and was approving decisions about the tendering process for services and equipment suppliers for that very same equipment and infrastructure?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, firstly I would point out to the member that Huawei are not a bidder in the process that the CFH board is considering. They are potentially a technology supplier to one or more of the bidders, but they're not actually involved in the bidding. In relation to Mr Milner and any of the other directors, CFH, I understand, has an interest register and a conflict of interest policy, which they adhere to.
Supplementary.
Clare Curran.
Was he aware that Murray Milner carried out consultancy work for Huawei from June to October 2010 while holding a position on the board of Crown Fibre Holdings? If so, why does he still think there is no conflict of interest?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Mr Speaker, I was recently made aware that Mr Milner had done some work for Huawei, but the remainder of my answer is the same as the answer to the previous supplementary question.
Clare Curran.
Will Crown Fibre Holdings be providing coordination assistance and commercial and technical advice to the Ultra-Fast Broadband selected partners in electing the equipment suppliers for passive infrastructure and Layer 2 equipment for Ultra-Fast Broadband? If so, how come Crown Fibre Holdings is pushing for there to be common suppliers and that all subsequent respondents use the same suppliers as stated in a document written on the 14th of October 2010, which was sent by Crown Fibre Holdings to 3 selected respondents?
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, it's quite a long question and I'm not quite sure which bit to focus on, but can I say that Crown Fibre Holdings does have a very clear policy, as I said, regarding interest, and I can't for the life of me think where the member is coming from on this, except to say that they do have, as I say, a clear interest register and any conflicts are managed.
Clare Curran.
How does he reconcile his public statement about Huawei's relationship with the government, that it's one step removed from government, that's one step removed from government, they are not a bidder in their own right, they're a technology partner. It's not like there's going to be any screwing the scrum in a particular way, close quote. When John Key singled out the firm as a potential participant in the fibre scheme and when they are clearly bidding to be an equipment provider.
The Honourable Stephen Joyce.
Well, Mr Speaker, a couple of things. One, they're not bidding with Crown Fibre Holdings at all, so that last part of the member's question is completely incorrect. And secondly, I think it's entirely right for the Prime Minister to point out they could be a potential partner. A number of people could be potential partners. There's no harm in that.
Point of order, Clare Curran.
Mr Speaker, I've got 4 documents that I'm seeking leave to table. If you want to take them all individually.
Let's see if we can take them in one bunch.
I seek leave to table a PowerPoint presentation by Murray Milner of Milner Consulting Limited titled UFB Impact on New Zealand Transport Capability, delivered at the Huawei Ultra-Fast Broadband Technology Summit on the 27th of September 2010.
Let's deal with that. Leave us sorted. Is there any objection to that? There is no objection.
I seek leave to table a transcript of John Key's interview with Guyan Espiner on Television New Zealand's Q&A
No, we're not
programme.
going to do that. Let's have the next one.
I seek leave to table a letter sent by Crown Fibre Holdings to selected respondents on the 14th of October 2010, which outlines the process for selecting passive infrastructure and Layer 2 equipment suppliers.
Leave us sort of any objection? There is no objection.
I seek leave to table an article in the Dominion Post
No, we're not
titled
going to
Joyce
do that.
Admits Public
Question
Not
number
Wowed.
12.